When you look around the league, who matches up best with Oklahoma City?
You ever heard that song by Keith Sweat?
Nobody.
We have Zion Williamson, and how big of a disappointment he has been. That was one of those where we need a hot take to go viral.
The best teams are always player-led.
You want to get the All-Star game back to high-level competition and fix it? Put some money on the ground.
Cheers. Am I the only one drinking? Am I drinking by myself?
Cheers.
Coffee, champagne.
Water.
What you sipping on, Perk?
Water.
So healthy all the time.
Yeah.
So healthy. Welcome to this edition of Road Trippin, where we drink water. We hydrate. I'm Allie Clifton, Richard Jefferson, Kendrick Perkins. Channing Frye is not here. We are all remote for the first time since we launched in October, the new rebrand. But that's okay, because guess what? Life's travels, they just take us all over the country. And that's what's happening. Where are you guys at?
Listen, people, I'm sorry that your favorite podcast has 4 national reporters. And Allie's in San Antonio. I just got back from Oklahoma City. Perk, I don't know where the hell you at right now. And Channing got 8 other jobs.
I'm in LA. So I'm on the road. Yeah, so I'm in LA. So we good.
You're in LA where something spicy happened. Let's just dive into our road running. Ty Lue. I love Ty Lue. And his comments last night after the Denver Clipper game. You guys saw
what did he
right?
say?
I knew you didn't. We'll dive in. We're going to start with... I know Perk did because he's been working all day as well. But here's the latest. The 3-time MVP Nikola Jokic. She dropped 55, 12, 6 dimes. Ty Lue said after the game, their plan was to make him score. I didn't know he would score 55. That is so Ty Lue. I can just hear him say that. He's currently leading the league in rebounds and assists, averaging 28, 13, and 11 dimes per game, and has the Nuggets off to a 9-2 start. Let's start with good plan or not good plan?
I think it was a good plan. He scored 55 times, and that's the first time he's won the game, right? It's the first time he's won the game. So he's had 4.
You do know some things.
Well, I learned through osmosis, right? And so but that was the first time he's won that game. So while those numbers are ridiculous, and I took a real heavy, I think I took a 50 ball from LeBron with the "we're not going to help out" type, when I was in Milwaukee. So I've seen those firsthand where you get stuck on an island and you're just and it's that night for them. But I think it was a good plan. Obviously, it backfired everything. But if you look at it, even him scoring 50 wasn't leading to wins for them. So if you're strategizing, not a bad strategy to try. And that's a real thing. I know people can't wrap their hands around it, but the same way that generals can send a certain amount of troops into battle, knowing that they ain't all coming back, when you send somebody out to battle against Jokic solo, you know they ain't all coming back, but ultimately it could help you win the war. And 4 other times it had helped them win the war.
You know what's one of the best things and the beauty of the Road Trippin podcast is that we have 4 people that actually work in the national media. Big names. Richard Jefferson, Allie, Perk, Channing, right? So we have to do our homework. And we know our numbers. So we're not just coming up here just talking. Jokic shot attempts are down this year, right? That's the way he want to play. He's leading the league in assists. He don't want to shoot a lot of balls. He want to distribute the rock. He want to, whatever it takes to win. That's how he wants to get it done. This is why I'm not mad at Ty Lue's game plan. Because out of everyone in the NBA, Big Zubac guards Jokic the best. Right? Go pull up the numbers. Over the last year, the person who defends Jokic the best, 101 is Zubac. Okay, cool. The fact that they were coming in off of back-to-back, the Nuggets, I think the game plan it should have been that.
Yeah.
Right? Jokic just put on an all-time great performance. All-time great performance. I grew up watching Hakeem Olajuwon. I had all his jerseys, Clutch City. I had the Hakeem Olajuwon shoes with the 34 on the side, the one that you got from True Value and Gibson's and Payless.
Yeah.
I had those. That's how much of a fan. That's how much of a fan I was of Hakeem Olajuwon. I watched Hakeem Olajuwon almost put up on his great nights quadruple doubles. Jokic is doing that on regular nights. So his best nights look like a night that we saw last night. He is the best center that I've seen in the last 20 years. I don't understand it. He's not the most athletic. It's pure skills. He's shooting 78% from the field. It's unreal what we're watching right now. Yeah. I already believe that he's the most. I already believe he's the most skilled center to ever play the game of basketball. But the fact that he came in and he took it, because this was personal as fuck against Zubac. That's why he went out and put up those numbers. Because he knows, like Jokic will talk about his horses in the interviews and talk about all this and that. That motherfucker got a chip on his shoulder, right? He knows certain things. Certain matchups are personal. That was one of them. And he went out there and gave the Clippers that work. Now, can I say this? The Clippers, on the other hand, they might as well tank. They might as well tank. I'm serious. They might as well tank. Here's why I say that. We're not going to dive into the whole Lawrence Frank situation. They need to tank. Frank, they fired Nico. Lawrence Frank needs to be next on the chopping block. Here's the thing. They have so much going on, right? Too much on and off the floor. Seriously. They have so many people within that organization, including the owner, having too many off the court issues. There's no way you could come together with all that nonsense that's going on around the Clippers organization. You talk about a team that needs to hit the reset button, that's a team that needs to hit the reset button. And I think Ty Lue is there. Ty Lue said yesterday as well, and I'm done. He said that I'm about to start playing my young guys, meaning I'm done with this old shit. I'm done with it. I'm about to start playing these young guys, win, lose, or draw. This is how the season is about to go.
I think that's the one thing that we all know about Ty Lue, too. He doesn't talk just to talk. And when he talks, he means what he says.
Specifically told me.
Great
he
point
specifically told me. And like, hey, Richard, I'm going to play these young guys for the next couple months, but then I'm going to come back to you. He will, what he is saying directly to you, he is one of those guys. And that's a great Mark Jackson. There's other coaches, Rick Carlisle. That open communication, Mark Dagnall is we talked about it last night at the game. I'm like, you do it. Mark Dagnall does as good of any coach in the league at getting his players to buy in and connecting into the sacrifice of you might play today, you might not play tomorrow, you might play in the first half, you might start the second half, but stay ready. And he's got enough examples where when new guys come in, he's like, hey, this is an opportunity for you, right? Wiggins can do it, Williams can do it. Can you join this collective group that's like, we stay ready, right? It might be a quarter. You might start one day. You might that is next level, the ability to pull that out of coaches, out of players. And Ty Lue's one of those people that has that ability.
Speaking of Mark Dagnall, we're going to go there next. But first, I do want to make sure everyone knows, mainly Richard and Channing, that you're the only one that picked Nikola Jokic to not get a triple-double, Perk. Just a cool 55 and 12, but nonetheless, you're the only one.
Yeah,
that
Perk,
knew.
Perk, look at you. This is my thing. I'm not betting against Jokic. Had I known, let's switch this up. Let me switch this up. You're right.
But
You're
you did.
right. You're right. No. Well, no. I said he was going to get a triple double, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
stay
you
with
said
me. Stay
yeah.
with me. Had I known Ty Lue's game plan, I'd have been like, if he's not going to get triple double, he going to go for 50. You going to play him solo? The reason why he gets so many triple doubles is because people are afraid of that 50 ball that will get them every single time. So if you would have been like, okay, he's not going to get a triple double, but Ty Lue's going to play solo coverage, even with Zubac, I'm like, man, Jokic might go for 50. That would have been my next response.
But again, and on a back-to-back.
Bro, did you see what
seriously?
Did you see what OKC did on a back-to-back, bro?
Okay, we're going there. On a back-to-back, they did it in back-to-back games. Are you hello? Are we watching? They're 12-1, dominant, obviously. I don't even need to ask this question because I think we're all in agreement. We all believe that they're better than they were a season ago, correct?
Yes.
Correct? Yes. Okay, moving forward. Shea is averaging almost 33 a night. Their second leading scorer, J-Dub, who had told ESPN last night that he does still play basketball, but he hasn't played a lick just yet this season, and they're 12-1. When you look around the league, who matches up best with Oklahoma City?
You ever heard that song by Keith Sweat?
Nobody. Nobody. Go ahead, Perk. You got it.
I was listening to you on the call. You didn't know what the fuck to say after the first two and a half quarters of the game. Last year they did some historic stuff with those defensive numbers. But this year, I'm sitting up here saying to myself, I'm like, I've never, ever in my career, past my career, before I got to the league, all this shit, seen a defensive team like that. Not at the wing position. They gotta have a chart in that locker room that it's a competition of who's gonna get the most deflections and steals. I have never seen a team that is stacked with so many two-way players. Okay, no Luke Dortz, no problem. First team all defense, up for defensive player of the year. No fucking J Dub. Yes, he was all NBA, but he also was
all defensive
on
team.
an all defensive team. And guess what? They sub five, the five that came in off the bench, all of them defend at a high level. I have never seen anything like that in NBA history. Not guys that could put the ball in the basket and defend at a high level. Casey Wallace could give you 15 to 20, defend his ass off. AJ Mitchell, give you right now up for sixth man of the year, could put the ball in the basket, defends his ass off. Right, Alex Caruso, we know what he does, and it's just no drop off. They're stacked with wings. The shot blocking is there between Hartenstein and Chet. And then on top of that, your best player last year finished top 5 in steals in SGA. And last but not least,
there's a laugh.
This is the right. This is the crazy thing. In these two games, they embarrassed and smoked the Warriors to the point where they were fucking melting down at the podium after they game. And then they spanked the fucking Lakers last night. Well, I thought JJ was going to have a damn heart attack on that sideline. He was so ready. He didn't know what to do. They forced you to so many turnovers, man. It's just, I've never seen a defensive team like this in my career. And I didn't play on great defensive teams, but the way they're loaded at the wing position is just something different. And I think it's them and everybody else. And I know we're 10, 11 games in. They are on the verge of repeat.
Now, this is the conversation. That's why Allie about to laugh right now. OKC by far, it's them and everybody else. But this is what I will say. They are better. But there is that monster, that absolute stud down there in Denver. And I'm sorry, Denver is better than they were last year. Denver took them to 7. Denver was hobbled. Aaron Gordon. I'm not playing the what if game. What I'm saying is Denver took the champs to 7. Denver is better this year than they were last year. OKC is better, but we sitting over here looking at what Jokic is doing, and we gonna gloss over the fact that you put him on that court and you got Bruce Brown, you got Aaron Gordon, you got Peyton Watson, who's a year better. I know Cam Johnson hasn't gotten off to a great start. He's in a new system. He's learning it. He's got to settle in. But at the end of the day, you ain't leaving Cam Johnson open. Jamal Murray is playing like that all-star, right? So if we're saying these two teams were 7, Jokic is in his prime. Jokic is in his prime right now, as is Shea. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying OKC is the favorite. I am not going to, if you were to put them in a series right now, I would say it would go to 7. And again, you put Shea and Jokic on the court in a game 7 situation with both of them and their full rosters healthy, with Jonas Valanciunas now, like just those are the two teams. Those two and everybody else currently right now.
I agree, but I will let me give a round of applause to SGA.
Ooh.
Again, a fucking again. Deep finals run. Usage rate through the roof. Led the league in scoring. You come back, this man hasn't missed a single game. I don't sit out. I know we're going to get everyone's best shot. I'm still going to give your ass 30 plus a night. And we're still going to have the best record in the NBA. I'm still going to show you that the mid-range exists because he's leading the league and made 2-point shots, pull-up jump shots, and step backs. Here go another number for you. I've been doing my homework. Yeah. He creates 4.5 feet of separation before he get his shot off. Can you imagine that? You could call it a push-off. I call it a bag. This man, you have to give him credit. We watched them damn videos of him in the summertime with his damn socks and shoes off, doing all those stretching and all that, and everybody had their jokes. But guess what? He's on the floor available and hasn't missed a damn game.
You know what was interesting to me? That when you talk about just how good the Thunder are, in back-to-back games, listening to post-game sound from two teams that are led by superstars, right? The word or the theme was how unorganized they made them feel.
Oh.
Like, that's another level. You're not just beating a team like that it probably isn't expected to win, period. You're beating a team that really thought that maybe they could use it as a measuring stick or they've won before in the past. I'm talking championships, right? And yet the theme was how unorganized they felt.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. They speed you up. They take you out of your offense. You got to go to second and third option. Not only do you have to go to second and third option, but you also better be working. Like, you better be V-cutting open. Like, how many times did the Lakers not come back to the ball? Like, the one time at the end, Marcus Smart didn't come back to the ball when Rui had that post up in the middle of the lane in the first half, and it was like he tried to hold his ground. Shea comes around. It's like, no, you got to pursue the ball against this team on every single play for 48 minutes. And if you don't, and this is one thing that there's very few times in history that I've seen this. It was like Magic's teams. It was we didn't have the shooters, but I felt like we were a part of that class. But I think the 7 seconds or less Suns, like when they get a fast break, it feels like it's 7-on-5. It's 7-on-5, and you're just like, what is going? Like, there's so many bodies, and it's like it's here, swing, shooter, knockdown, cutter, offensive rebound, throw it out, trail, because you got a Dirk-like figure in Chet Holmgren trailing. You got speedsters, little guards like Alex Caruso and Kate like running. You got guys like J-Dub and Lou Dort running to the corners. They just have this machine that once you turn it over, it's over. They're averaging 15 points of a margin of victory. And 15 points. That means they're average, and they're not playing in the fourth quarters. Shea didn't play in the last 2 fourth quarters. Like,
and when they get your ass in, and when they get your ass is grass when they get you in OKC. They get you at the crib.
There's a lot of grass in OKC too. I'll tell you that.
You could pencil that in as an
It's 7 on 5. There's not many teams, Perk, that when they get a transition, it feels like it's 7 on 5 because they're let me rephrase this. The Golden State Warriors were like that also. The Golden State Warriors were like that also during their pink run. I would say even before Kevin Durant with that small ball shit, that death lineup. That was a death lineup because your head was like this all the damn time. And the minute you looked around, you had the 2 greatest shooters that we had ever seen firing the ball off. And then you had wing players, like you talk about wing player, wing depth, like the Warriors had that. That's what that depth lineup. They had so many wing defenders. You had Iggy, you had Draymond, you had Klay Thompson. You had 3 all defensive players right there. Boom. One including a defensive player of the year. Iggy's an all defensive player. Klay's an all defensive player. And then you had guys coming off like Livingston playing with intensity. Barbosa, like you had that. Steph led the league in steals. So even though he was maybe, not the biggest of wing defenders, he contributed with like his deflections and being in the right spaces and the basketball IQ. That's what the Warriors were. But they would transition and beat you with threes. This team transitions and beats you with a variety of layups, dunks, corner threes, chill 3 by Chet. So, and then you got Shea that's just constant pressure the whole time. The whole time. That shit is, whew. God bless you guys. I'm glad I'm retired.
And continually just giving teams nightmares, as we mentioned, 12-1 to start the season. The flip side of that last night is we checked in with our predictions on Nikola Jokic. We all were wrong when it came to Luka Doncic. He did not hit his mark of 33. Instead, he had 19, 7, and 7. But the Lakers do have a bounce back opportunity in front of them. We're going to get to the fun DeMarcus Cousins. Well, it depends what side of the fence you're on with DeMarcus Cousins and his take. We're going to get to that in a second in our Trippin segment. But Lakers, Pelicans, Friday night. Easy bounce
back,
it's a
trap game. Those are trap games. It's a trap game because they're a team that like, okay, we're not playing. Not that you let your guard down. That's not what I'm saying. You have OKC and you got Milwaukee. Just in general, you look at the Pelicans as a trap game, especially with the way they've been performing. Now, they have been performing better in the last couple of weeks, but on the schedule, when you see OKC, Milwaukee, and then you see the Pelicans in between, the last thing you want to do is take them light, not pay attention. They come out, they try and kick you while you're down. You've been on the road for a long time. Oklahoma City multiple nights. Now you're in New Orleans another night. You're looking at Milwaukee another night. So it's like when you look at that, that's where the trap game is. Not just performance, it's mentality, it's focus, it's kind of just your overall vibe as a team. They got to lift themselves up from getting their ass kicked and make sure that they go out there and do what they are normally capable of doing. But the Pelicans aren't going to just let it happen.
And they better get on their ass early. Don't even give them light because, again, this is another situation with a lot of internal issues. By the way, I don't like what the Pelicans, the organization is doing to Willie Green. If you want to fire him, fire him. But the being petty and not announcing his name as the head coach for like 2 to 3 straight games, once they announced the starting lineup,
I didn't see that.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, they done that. They did that. Like they're being that is petty, and they asked Willie Green about it. Like, did you tell him not to do it? And he said no. So, like, if you don't want that man to be the coach, quit all this. Like, we don't need to keep hearing reports. It's bullshit.
Okay, I'm sorry, Perk.
No, you good.
I'm the head coach. If I look over and that man in front of the mic or that person in front of the mic doesn't say my name, we got issues. We got issues. Ooh. And again, I'm not.
Well, okay, but so it didn't just happen one game; it happened a few games. Now we could go back and check this, but I'm pretty sure this is accurate reporting. Here's my thing: it's just too much information that's being leaked that says, oh, if Willie Green don't win this game, he's gonna get fired. Like it's too much speculation out there. If you're gonna let the man go, let him go. I will say this about the Pelicans: the two rookies that they drafted, the kid Jeremiah Fears, I believe Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen. Those two guys are different. They're special. Derek Queen is gonna be that Jokic Shangoon type player for them. By the way.
I'm going to be honest with you, Perk. If he's addressing it, then that's accurate.
I wasn't questioning it. I just hadn't seen it. Go ahead.
It appears that.
No.
No, Perk said Perk was saying too. He wanted to make sure that he was covering his tracks too. But yeah, it appears, Perk, that you were absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's fucking disrespect. It's unacceptable.
This is my one thing to New Orleans Pelicans. Whatever energy is. Wow. There are teams that handle things at the highest of levels, and they are typically the most successful. That is the one that players want to play for. That's the one that players want to battle for. When players around the league, this sends a message to the entire 450 when things are managed in this process. The most successful teams are typically the most consistent, well-run. Like, I don't want to say family because we know it's not family, but there's an energy if it's us against the world. And if you're with us, you're with us. If you're against us, you're against us. No, a house divided cannot stand. Period. So that right there for Willie Green to address that, to me, they have struggled for a very, very long time as an organization. And if you're trying to get out of that space, that is not the way to go about things.
Okay, leads us right into this conversation. Our Trippin segment, DeMarcus Cousins. Did you guys see this? He had an interesting take on the Pelicans, stating, I think it's time for them to move. I think it was time 5 to 6 years ago. You go to the games, there's about 36 people in there. Popcorn is $1. Courtside is $25. There's not really much going on. There's not much success happening for just that part of it. It's time. Blow it up. Move on. There are no fans. Is he tripping?
Go ahead, Big Perk. You played there.
No. He's not tripping. I said this about 2 years ago, and my comments was flooded with New Orleans people going in on me, right? And then they made the playoffs, and they was, commenting and tagging me in videos because of how packed the arena was. I played in New Orleans. Here's the problem with New Orleans. Great city, one of my favorite cities to live in. One, because they got great food. Okay, that's number one. Number two, this is what I will say. I understand where DeMarcus is coming from, where Big Cuz is coming from, because he played there. They are always going to be second to the New Orleans Saints. That city is all about the New Orleans Saints. From the ownership to Mickey Loomis, it's all about, they don't give a damn about the Pelicans. It's so bad that you have to leave. If you want to go to, all organizations now, you walk in, you got first class service, they got breakfast, you got a chef, you leave, you got an option to eat lunch, they got all. You leave the Pelicans facility, you got to walk across the street to the Saints facility in order to eat and get. So all your stuff is in boxes in the cafeteria. So again, I understand what he's saying, but also on the flip side of things, you have to fucking win in order to fill seats up. You have to win. Like, think about how Zion, the hype he had and how excited the city was. We have Zion Williamson and how big of a disappointment he has been for them. Like, they're probably frustrated and tired with this organization and the direction it's going in as well. And now you have not only Zion being out again, right, with a hamstring injury, And we have to get a doctor on here to because I got some questions about. I've never seen a guy injure his hamstring that much like Zion Williamson throughout his career. So I need to hear some science behind this. You go out, you trade CJ McCollum, you bring in Jordan Poole, and it's just to the point where it's like, you know, I want Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver, my good friend, who I believe is a hell of a GM. He put that Detroit roster together that we're seeing balling right now. He drafted all of those guys over there.
Not all.
What you mean?
Not all. I'm saying last 2-3 years. Last 2-3 years. Troy, he drafted Cade, right? He drafted Cade, correct? He drafted Cade, right? He drafted Cade, yeah.
He drafted Cade.
Now let's calm down. When you got the number one pick, there's not that much scouting going on.
Troy, but
Troy,
you drafted the Sewell Thompson.
Troy.
He drafted Jalen Duren. He drafted B. Stu. So I'm just saying.
Get him, Perk. Get him, Perk.
I want to give Trajan a little credit. I want to give Trajan a little credit. That's all.
Yeah, no, he's done an exceptional job. You know what Trajan did? He got the right fucking coach in there.
Say it again.
Shout out to Bickerstaff. But I wouldn't say I'm in between. I wouldn't say because Big DeMarcus Cousins is tripping, because I kind of feel what he's coming from. But he better be prepared for those comments, because those New Orleans people, they coming at his ass. I've been there.
Is there any value to just moving maybe a couple of teams around in the league versus expanding to 2 new teams?
No, so really quick. No, let me say this. Perk's point is right. And that's where I talk about, and Joe Dumars has taken over. We knew Griff there, who helped build the Cleveland roster during their runs. We all know Griff when it comes to putting together a team and managing it. Again, won a championship. That was Griff and Braun, right? I say that to say, hey, Griff is the one that called. Hey, let me say this. I can speak on this. Griff is the one that called me. Like, I knew Braun, but I didn't have a relationship with Braun. Braun wasn't calling me, recruiting me. And I'm not saying that I was that, but Griff was like, hey, Rich, we would like you to come here, veteran minimum. This is what we're doing. This is what we're trying to fill out our roster with, right? Again, getting Amon Shumpert, getting J.R. Smith, you know. So there's a lot of things. Anyways, my point is this. If you win, that helps. That's why I pray for stability in that organization. Right. And if they don't have stability, they can't build a fan base. Mm-hmm. Yes, you could talk about the injuries. They've had talent, but they just have. You make a 3-4 year playoff run, right? You get to the second round a couple times. You do that, you're going to build a fan base. That's how you do it. So that's the part. I can't speak. I never played like you and DeMarcus did, but you know, they had to relocate the New Jersey Nets. We were going to the finals and we didn't get enough of a fan base. Right. And they just had to move us 45 minutes on the other side of town to a more densely populated area. And now the Brooklyn Nets have a bigger fan base.
All right. Well, we shall see. But yeah, maybe DeMarcus Cousins will have to give us all a temperature check on his comments per what you just said, Perk. All right. We're going to double down on the Straight Trippin' segment. I don't know if you guys saw this one. Jay Will, a.k.a. White Chocolate, and Pat Bev have a new show. It's called Hoopin' and Hollerin'. They were talking about Klay Thompson's struggles this season, and that led to talking about his relationship with Meg Thee Stallion, promoting Klay to respond. Referring to my girlfriend as a bleep is so disgusting and disturbing, especially from someone who played in the NBA. How would you all feel if I referred to your wives in such a way? Do better, fellas, on the show.
This is what I will say. Klay. No. I don't even want to promote it. This is what I would say. I stand by whatever Klay's reaction is. I stand by it. We don't need an opinion. We've heard directly from Klay.
So they're tripping.
My opinion on the matter is, I would say they are tripping. Klay has responded. I support Klay Thompson. Right? That's where I would leave it. You know, Pat Bev, Jay Will, those my dudes. I support Klay.
They tripping. I said they fucking tripping. Like, leave that man personal life out of this. You know what I mean? Klay has been up and down since he came back from injury, right? It's part of, like, he's found himself at times. He struggled a lot more, since the Achilles and the ACL injury. Like, that's his woman. That's his lady. That has nothing to do with basketball. I think that's the problem, is that keep everything between the lines, man. When you start having these personal attacks, they tripping. And Klay is right. Like, they wouldn't like it. Like, Pat Bev, you're married too, bro. You have a wife. Like, you wouldn't want somebody personally or sending shooting slugs at your wife. So the respect level has to be there. And I, as one of the guys, as a, quote unquote, one of the king of hot takes, that was one of those where we need a hot take to go viral to bring some attention this way. Because it is nothing else past it.
This is another thing for Klay, right? You guys remember when Ray Allen went to Miami, right? When Ray Allen went to Miami, he had all of those dudes around him. Ray was a little bit older. He needed to be kind of fed a little bit more. He wasn't the Ray from Milwaukee. He wasn't the Ray from Seattle. He wasn't even the Ray from the early years in Boston. And Ray, again, that dude, 100%, that dude, right? But he went to Miami because he had to do 20% less. Klay is not playing with AD. Klay is not playing with Kyrie. Klay is not playing with, like, Cooper Flag is still learning. Klay is not playing, like, he was supposed to play with Luka. He was supposed to play.
He wasn't bought there. He wasn't bought there to be a first,
Klay,
second, or third.
that's what I'm saying. So Klay, now we looking at Klay, who has a lot of miles on his body, an Achilles and an ACL, and we're like, well, why isn't Klay doing what he did with the Warriors? That's not what he signed up for, and it's frustrating for Klay. It's frustrating for any player. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, imagine what Ray's numbers would have looked like if D Wade wasn't there, if LeBron wasn't there, and all. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ray's numbers in Miami don't look the same. Like, I'm just saying, from an opportunity for more open shots, for cleaner looks, which he needs, easier buckets. But that's not the environment in which he's rolling in right now. So we're not going to criticize his personal relationship because other players are injured on his, the first option's injured, the second option's injured. The player that he signed up for, Luka, who's one of the greatest shot creators we've ever seen, is gone. That's who he signed up to play with. So, like, I will Klay, salute my brother, 4-time champion, future Hall of Famer. I hope your teammates get healthy. I hope y'all get a good rhythm so you can do what you showed up there to do. Period. Say nothing. That's the end of conversation.
We'll stay in the West. We'll actually stay in the state of Texas, where I am. The Spurs, 8-3, lost to a vintage Steph Curry last night. He finished with 46 last night, as in Wednesday. He shot 16 threes, by the way. Did you guys know that Wemby and Stephon Castle both had triple doubles? It's the first time in NBA history that a team beat an opponent with both guys putting up triple doubles. How about that? Did you know that?
That's Steph Curry.
Yeah, he definitely went vintage for sure. Do you guys like what you're seeing out of Wemby, the Spurs, since particularly De'Aaron Fox's return?
I do. They just ran into a team that was desperate, and let me say this: this is going to hurt my soul. This is going to burn everything inside of me to fucking ashes to say this. I gotta give Richard his fucking props. I gotta give Richard his props. I gotta give you your props, bro. I gotta give you your props. We was having a conversation with Wemby about Wemby, and I said, it's no ceiling. He's reached that ceiling. He was like, Perk, he's got some growing to do. You're absolutely right. He does have growing to do. You know what the growing that needs to happen for him is, one, the game got to continue to slow down for him. Draymond Green did an exceptional job last night. Don't look at the box scores, but go look at Draymond. Wemby had 8 turnovers, About 4 or 5 of those turnovers was forced by the defense of Draymond Green, right? And so when you talk about the decision, they only lost by 5. So, I mean, 8 turnovers, that's 8 possessions that was gone. I don't know how many of those were fast break or led to fast break points. But again, it's them steps. It's those moments that you got to go through so that the decision making is there, right? Like having the feel of who you on the floor with. It's going to take time. I'm going to give De'Aaron Fox some grace because this is what his 3rd game back. It's going to take time for them to develop that 2-man game consistently. It's going to take time for De'Aaron Fox to get his legs up under him. Last night, they just ran across the team that was pissed off, that was embarrassed the night before, that was desperate, and Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Jimmy Butler walked into that arena as if it was a playoff-type game, like a must-win situation. Steve Kerr did the same because Jonathan Kuminga and Podziemski both went back to the bench and out of the starting lineup.
It's a great point. Rich, anything to add? You know what's crazy about that is I was doing my research because I have Warriors at Spurs again tomorrow night for Prime. And Draymond was like 1 of 10, fouled out, had 5 turnovers. And Steve Kerr was like, he was the most impactful. Plus minus, leader of plus minus because of the way he simply defended Wemby.
Yeah, Draymond, that's who he is. Like, say what you want. Like, he will never look at his shot. Like, he'll look at his shot selection and be critical of himself, but not is he one for, like, he will judge himself by rebounds, by defense, by steals, by communication, by being in the back line. That's like, you don't look at defensive player of the years like he's been second multiple times and say, what did they shoot from the field? That's not what they're there for, right? Everything else is a bonus. So, but the same thing that and I'm going to circle back before we leave this conversation, the same thing that we talk about Steph needing help, right? And getting Jimmy Butler. And now you get to unlock more of Steph's like greatness because he just needed a little bit more around him. Now he can go be great. That's what we were referencing with Klay. If Klay had the pieces around him that were supposed to be instilled, that would allow for him to raise his level. So you know that it's the same kind of thing. It's a different category, right? But it's like if Klay's supposed to be 3 and 4, he needs his 1 and 2. If you want Steph to be a 1, you got to have Steph's 2 and 3. You got to have Steph's 2 and 3 if you want him to look like that 1. Because if that 1 don't got the 2 and 3, that's real hard job for Steph at this space in his career. So it's the same formula. And so, you know, I'm not surprised. Like I said, I won't bet against Steph. I won't bet against Jokic. There's just certain players that
I want to get kind of a big picture approach before we hit a little detour and then the exit ramp with this. And it came from the Warriors. You guys have mentioned it. Obviously, if you watch the NBA, you saw the big blowout from OKC on Tuesday night. They then bounce back. They were down by like as many as 14-16 versus the Spurs, end up winning by 5, to your point. After the OKC loss, Draymond, Jimmy publicly calling out their team for personal agendas, lack of effort. Is this a good sign? Obviously, the win following a conversation like that. And what are your thoughts on calling teammates out publicly? Good or bad idea? Is it something where you just KYP have to know?
You gotta know who's.
And I will say this because I did listen to Draymond. He did in the post game. Yes, it was about personal agendas, but he said on some level you have to have a personal agenda, but it has to fit within the team concept.
Mark Daigneault, and this is what I'll say. He said the best teams are always player led. The best teams are always player led. JJ was preaching that last night. Player only meeting. Again, because great coaches know player led. That means you guys got to look each other in the eye. I'm the director of the traffic, but y'all got to you got to steer this wheel. You got to pump the brakes. You got to hit the gas. You got to do the things. So like Steph can call out, Jimmy can call out, right? Draymond can call out. That there's certain players in there with those pedigrees and with those resumes. They can call out whoever they want to call out. I support it. I don't support punching somebody, but I love you, Dre.
He's going to cancel your episode.
So
too late. White waivers already been signed.
I will say this. Yeah, it's okay to call your teammates out. I'm okay with that. Long as what you say in the public, you'll say it to their face behind closed doors, right? And no, I'm serious. So, okay, I'm okay with that. But this is where I somewhat have a problem. I get it. The Warriors, they want to win championships, right? Steph, Jimmy, Draymond, they know that window is closing. I get that part. Here's the part that kind of made me a little bit disappointed in Draymond was Draymond, there was a point in your fucking career, okay, where you had individual goals, you had agendas, you wanted to make an all-star game, and guess what? That's okay. Because I'm gonna give you a quick story. It was 2009, 2010 season. I'm with the Celtics. KG is out. We win 18 games in a row, and then we go into a slump, right? And you could feel the tension in the locker room, right? Rondo doing his thing now. Ray and Rondo not seeing eye to eye. You could feel some tension. And so we landed back in Boston. It's like 3:00 in the morning. It's 3:00 in the morning. And they're like, hey, before we got off this plane, let's fucking air it out. Who got a problem with who, right? We call them the coming to Jesus meeting. So I'm sitting there. At this point, I'm playing the best basketball of my career. I'm averaging like 16 and 11. I'm number 2 in the league in block shots. Doc going to me on a low block. This is my first time ever having a legit shot at making the All-Star game. Right? And so everybody's speaking their mind. I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, I know I ain't in this conversation, nobody going. And KG, he like, I ain't gonna lie, B. Perk, I feel like you out here trying to, you know what I'm saying? You playing selfish basketball. Like, you out here like you trying to make the All-Star game. So right then, it fucked me up. I'm like, huh? So I ain't have a response at the time. So I looked at him, I got up, and I'm walking off the plane. Now I'm leaving the meeting because I'm hot that he done said this to me. I'm 23, 24 years of age, right? So he followed me. He like, you my fucking dog, you gonna turn your back and walk out? We can't have an honest conversation? Nah, I ain't really trying to hear that right now. I'm going to my car and go home. So next day I get to the gym, no practice, I'm working out, right? Sam, I found this out afterwards, Cassell go to KG and was like, hey man, that's your dog. You need to go holler at Perk. Motherfucker, it's the time in Minnesota, your ass wants to make the All-Star game too. It should be okay. Long as it's, what's the word? Conducive to winning, right? Okay, so I'm shooting on the goal. KG walk up to me. He like, hey, boy, you know I love you. You my dog. He like, man, I was wrong, bro. He was like, you should want that under your belt. You should want to have an all-star appearance. It's your first time and you got a real shot. I was wrong, big fella. Straight up. And I'm coming to you as a man and your big brother. And that shit went a long way with me. But he had to realize that he was actually in that space at one point. Richard, you couldn't tell me that when you was with the Nets or in Milwaukee, that you never wanted to
There
make
was
the All-Star
years that I was
right?
20 plus and I'm watching TNT being like, well, better luck next year, Red. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there waiting to see. I'm sitting with there announcing the reserves, and I'm top 10 in the league in scoring, but I got Vince and Jay Kidd that are getting voted in. So I'm like, we're the 5th seed. I don't know if we're going to get 3 All-Stars, even though I'm averaging 22 a night. Damn, that sucks, But that's part of it. What the whole thing goes back to one thing. You can be great if you do it through the fine confines of the ecosystem. OKC is the perfect example of that. I thought Chet was going to be an all-star last year. He gets hurt. It opens up an opportunity for J-Dub to go be all NBA because he took the opportunity. right? So it's like, it's okay. I think Chet's going to be an all-star this year. So when I look at it from a standpoint, it's like, as long as you can do it through the confines of being great as a team, but if your team is saying you got to average 16 points a game, and that's going to help us win a championship, you can't go try and average 19 to be an all-star.
I was going to say, because at the end of the day, guess what people remember about you? Not exactly whether or not you were an all-star, but they do remember that you guys are champions. Speaking of all-star nods, I have to give myself a pat on the back. I'm a very humble human being. I will say that. But I'm pretty sure last year I had this great idea for the all-star format. And you all got so mad at me and thought that it was the craziest, wildest, stupidest, I don't even know if that's a word, idea. But Adam Silver and I
did any of our opinions change? Any of our opinions change?
That's fine. But someone's did. And they align with me. We're going to take a quick detour because on Tuesday night, the NBA officially announced the brand new US versus World format for the 2026 All-Star Game. This will be a round-robin tournament between 3 teams, 2 made up of entirely All-Americans and 1 made up of international players. Each team will have at least 8 players, and the games will last 12 minutes. 1, are you excited?
No. It's okay. No, it's too fucking much. And look, y'all know how I feel about Adam Silver. Y'all know how I feel about Adam Silver. I have the perfect solution to fix the problem. Bands, listen, bands will make you, bands, BANDS, or however you want to spell it, bands will make you dance, okay? Money makes you move.
Strippers. It's a stripper song. It's a stripper song, Allie.
I know, Jonathan's back there doing it.
How much did the NBA make on media rights? $76 billion. You don't want to get the All-Star game back to high-level competition and fix it? Put some money on the ground.
Offer him $1 million.
Money on the wood, make the game go good. Just like the in-season tournament. We're seeing guys compete at a high level in the in-season tournament. I think the winner get, what, $500,000 or something like that?
Yes.
Put the money on the ground, and it'll keep the argument down. So that's the solution. It's just too much. I thought you got to go through this, and once it started being a format, you done lost me. I don't like to think. I don't want to be like you done lost me.
Okay, well, let's just have fun because I actually hear you on that. I do agree, but here we are. That's not the
yeah. We've already talked
for this year. So, with that said, I want you guys to draft your mock team for the starting 5 for each, international and American. I can give you options if you need.
Allie, please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this.
I'm not making you do anything. I'm not making you do anything.
I haven't watched the All-Star game in years, and it looks like that's going to continue. I can't be forced to care about something that the players aren't. That's just I'm doing my best. If the players care about it, I care about it. I'm driven by competition, by wanting to be great, by wanting to be a part of memorable moments. If the players care about it, I'm invested. But I cannot care about something like we talk about coaches. Coaches can't want it more than the players. I like if the players don't care about it, then truly I can't. If the players are locked in on this and these dudes are rabid, like they're trying to get it, I'm in. But I can't fake it. I can't fake interest. Now I'm looking forward to seeing it. I wish it the best. If it has success and players are going nuts, awesome, great, cool. But I'm not a part of the hype train of like, oh, this is trash or this is good. If they care about it, I'll care about it. So until then, that's all I got to say. That's like, and I'm apologetic about it, but I'm not. Yeah, don't you mute your shit, Allie. I'm not
Sorry, I didn't know I was muted. Perk, are you going to draft a team for me?
So draft what? A U.S. team?
Starting 5 for international, starting 5 for Americans.
Okay, international, Giannis, Luka, Wemby, Jokic, and SGA. That's 5.
Holy shitballs.
Well, those are the 5 best players in the freaking world. Yeah.
No, I know. Jesus, that's insane.
That's what are you talking about? It's
Why would
MVP,
we sign up for that?
It's
okay,
MVP. Who else? And a 5-time first All-NBAer. It's
the last MVP.
But I'm saying it's a 5-time first team All-NBAer in Luka. Then it's 2-time MVP in Giannis, who's in the prime. 4-time MVP in Jokic, who's in his prime. The MVP from last year, who's in his prime. And
everyone has
an alien.
Americans. You need 5 Americans.
And then you have Şengün coming in off the bench.
Americans. Give me your 5 Americans.
So Americans, I'll go. Anthony Edwards, just because I know he's just gonna compete. So I'm gonna go Anthony Edwards. I'll go like LeBron, Steph, and KD. I can't keep counting. Like, no, they old heads. Like, I just feel like at this moment they deserve just to show up and take pictures and sign autographs. So I'm not counting.
I'm really looking forward to Steph, KD, and LeBron playing in the 12-minute game against the Europeans.
So
yo, there actually might be some legit competition and bragging rights there.
It is. No, it's not a bad idea. But I would go young. I would go with the young stars. So I would go, you got to have some size. So the problem is, who is your center at this moment? Because is Karl Anthony Towns international? Right?
He's Dominican. He's Dominican, correct?
Okay, so maybe Jalen Duren, you got to be your center. He's playing some of the best basketball of his career. You got to have size going against those big guys. Hell, I can't get Zubac. He's international as well. Julius Randle.
Don't do it, bro. I'm telling you.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm telling you, she's throwing you a bad lob, bro. She's throwing you a bad lob, bro. She's throwing you a bad lob. Look at her.
She's that's what I'm saying.
Those lobs that your boy throws you? Those lobs that your boy throws you almost break your neck?
I'm glad we're having this conversation because that's how night and day it is. That's why we're searching. We are searching for that next. You know what? Cade Cunningham is in that motherfucker. I tell you that. Cade Cunningham is in there. I got 2 players from the Pistons in there. Dorn, because he ain't go back down. He go bang down low. Cade, give me big body Brunson. Damn, he's small. Give me Anthony Edwards. And I need one other player. I'm not picking them to win, but I need one other player.
You're not picking the Americans? You aren't picking your squad?
Hell no. Not against that starting 5 I just told you about.
I'm
going to bet on him. I'm going to bet on him.
I'm logging off.
No, you're not. No, you're not. We're going to finish this episode right now. Perk, thank you so much for humoring me through that moment. Because at the end of the day, I am part of the reason.
you did call
Just kidding. All right, we're gonna finish this episode with a little storytelling because the other night the NBA on Prime crew were discussing their welcome to retirement moments. For example, Steve Nash said it was when he was guarding Steph. Blake said it was an Evan Mobley moment for him. UD said guarding Hassan Whiteside in practice told him it was time to retire. I want to know as we wrap this up.
But UD played 8 years after that.
So did you.
After that. I'm going to tell you.
I want to know your retirement moment.
You know what was mine?
And then we're done.
When I was riding the bench as the backup center, the third center, to Alexa Agensa and Amir Asik. And I said to myself, this is the end of the road. I was back in the Alexa Agenda and Amir Asik in New Orleans. And right there,
They weren't trying to win anyway. They weren't trying to win.
Right there, I started to see the darkness. Yeah.
Were courtside seats more than $25?
They was giving them away.
I'm just kidding. Rich, what was your come to Jesus? It's time to retire moment.
When I
don't.
When I didn't have a job to start the season, that is it. No, all kidding aside, I truly believe that if I wanted to, I could have played one more year. I actually turned down a contract waiting for another team, and that didn't transpire. And then I had a conversation with my agent. I turned down an offer waiting for another team. And then free agency goes, that team decided not to go that direction. So I could have waited a year, like not waited a year, but I could have worked out and then been signed. Like you look at a DeAndre Ayton, I could have done that. That was also the year that like Gordon Hayward got hurt the first game of the season. And so it's like not like I'm saying then all of a sudden all those young players get bumped up. I could have been the third or fourth wing on a roster, just for an example of how a player could be waiting and then you get the call. So I chose not to wait for a call and then to go heavily into broadcasting. And I'll tell you exactly what my agent at the time, Jeff Ford, said. I said to him, I'm like, hey, should I wait? I was like, honestly, I don't feel like waiting and working out for months or because it could be a week, it could be 2 months. He was like, Richard, if broadcasting is something that you want to do, there's going to be Hall of Famers every year that are retiring. Next year it's going to be somebody else. Next year it's going to be somebody else. So if this is what you want to do, and you're going to go into broadcasting, you can't go tiptoe into it and then come back out. He goes, this is really what you want to do. You should go 100%. So at that point in time, I made a decision to put basketball 100% behind me and then go 100% into broadcasting. So there was I had already been very comfortable as like, I was a 20-point a game scorer, then I was a 12-point a game scorer, then I was a 5-point a game off the bench 3-and-D guy, and was in that role for, the last 6-7 years of my career. I could have played another year, chose not to wait on the call, and then decided to go 100% here. So was there a come to Jesus moment of like, I'm done? No, because I felt like I still could have. We went 2 NBA finals, right? Where I was coming off the bench, having impacts. And then the next year is the third year I go to Denver, and then that's the end of my career. So I could have like a championship team could have been like, hey, we just saw you in the finals. Mind you, I'd have been 37, 38, but in that role, which you would have asked of me, I could have contributed. Right. And so I just decided to go 100% into broadcasting. I'd been getting cooked. I was getting cooked by Kevin Durant in the finals. I was getting cooked. So it wasn't like somebody made me. And it's like, no, I can give you 12 to 15 good, strong minutes. I can give that to you. But I just decided to go another route.
But you know what? The worst thing in the world is not retiring on your own terms. When that phone stopped ringing, you talk about a pain in your heart that's unreal. Like seriously, that phone stopped ringing when you think you about to be in the league 2-3 more years, and all of a sudden you calling your agent, and your agent is saying, "Hey, they got an offer for you overseas," and you fire that agent, and you like, "Man, he ain't getting it." And you call another agent, and they like, nah, big fella, it ain't really nothing. We're gonna have to wait and all this. Like, I held on too long, right? Like, but I will say this: I held on too long. I went to the G League, but the G League was one of the best experiences of my career. Most humbling experience, and I got to experience a lot. It put me back in real life. Like the NBA has you in this, like not in real life world. right? The G League, it puts you back. Like when you in the church and you're working out and all of a sudden you see a 70-year-old that's waiting on you to finish, your curls, you know what I'm saying? Or you can't do your supersets because somebody on the machine, like that, yeah. So it hits you. 12-hour bus rides, it hits you. I had 3 of them. After the third one, I walked in. Hey, we had a meeting. I remember we got back. We had practice the next morning. We walked in. Coach was like, all right, we're going to talk about this. I came in. I said, hey, Coach Nate, man, I appreciate everything. But, and fellas, man, good luck to y'all. But I'm retired. I'm retired.
Yeah.
I'm retired.
I'm retired. But and that's I guess look for me, I was literally I think I was like 90 points away from 15,000, right? So if I was like wanting to like hit a benchmark or doing something. But even then it was like, look, I'm 15,000 if you include playoffs. So I feel okay. But you know what I'm saying? Total point. So but I say that to say it was the hardest thing. It was also coming off when my father had passed away. And so it was very, very difficult. But also, I felt better because, again, we had been 3-4 years into road tripping. I had prepared myself for this next phase. The Nets and Frank DeGrace, who's now running NBC and their new basketball division, he was there at the Nets and he was there and was like, Richard, we want to hire you. And then him and Flip. And so I had all of these mentors in the media space that helped me and guided me. I sat next to Ian Eagle, called my first game. I didn't know that this dude was a freaking icon. I just thought he was funny. Then I got to sit next to Ryan Rucco, Sarah Kustok, Grady. So I was so blessed to enter into a great media space. And even when I got to ESPN, it was launching Get Up and it was Dominic Foxworth, it was RC, it was Perk, it was Jay Williams, I said Perk, big head, it was Dan Orlovsky. Dan Orlovsky, salute my guy. It was Swagoo. So I got to work with Laura Rutledge. I got to work with so many great people when I first got started. So I was very, very blessed in my transition, but that transition had started 4 or 5 years prior to that. And my agent was kind of like, hey, bro, if you say this is what you want to do, you're not a 10-time All-Star. You're not a Hall of Famer. You're going to have to get in the mud and grind. And that year I worked for the Pac-12. I worked for Fox Sports. I worked for the Yes Network. I worked for CBS. I worked for ESPN, and I worked for the Yes Network. All of those companies I worked for, including doing road tripping. So
how many flights you missed?
How many flights I take? I missed 100 flights. When I started going through regular TSA as a civilian, bro, that's the
other thing.
God, when you start going through TSA, I had never done anything like that, man. It was like all this, and it was a weird feeling. But I say that to say is like that was for me. It was a decision, and I look back on it. I feel very blessed that, I got to walk away when I did. Would I have loved to play more? Yes. Could I have played more? Yes. But I didn't have much longer. I had probably 1 more year maximum before my body was going to completely break down. But I say it from a standpoint, it was hard, but I was fortunate how the transition happened and who I had been working with. But a lot of that was because I had been working 3-4 years in the media space to be ready for that transition.
Thanks for their open and honest conversation about y'all's stories. That's obviously what Road Trippin is all about. No one tells their stories better than us. At the same time, our retirement story is to each his own. It's everyone's own individual story, and it looks differently for everyone. So I appreciate the both of you taking that opportunity. I think at the end of the day, so many people just look at professional athletes as just that. And they don't understand the real heart, the dedication, the commitment, everything that you guys put into your point, Perk, of how much it hurts when that call or when that realization really comes to fruition.
Athletes die twice. Athletes die twice.
There you go. It's a great one. Channing wasn't here this week, but don't forget Road Trippin 10 for 10% off of Chosen Family Wines. Also, hit that like, rating, subscribe button.
You all know what's up. You gotta say it with enthusiasm.
Yeah, let's edit that. Also, to wrap this up, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button.
Yeah.
There's a pinned episode show of the Richard Show at the top as well. So go over and hit that button too. We love you. We appreciate you. You know, everything's always road tripping over here. We'll see you next week.